Today we will continue with the chapter pronouns in English language, and we were having a look at the different types of pronouns. We already had a look at some of them. We had a look at what were personal pronouns and demonstrative pronouns, possessive pronouns, interrogative, reflexive, and emphatic. So we have done till here, we have done 6 kinds of pronouns. Let's move on to the seventh one. The seventh one is reciprocal. Now, reciprocal pronouns, they are used to show that any action or feeling, it is reciprocated, means it is returned. Alright, means if you like someone, so the other person also likes you. And if you are angry at someone, so the feeling is reciprocated, means the other person also is angry with you. So reciprocal pronouns, they show that any action or any feeling, it is reciprocated or it is returned. All right, means it is both ways. For example, they took care of each other, means it was not just one person taking care of the other, but it was the other way around also, that the other person was also taking care of the first one. Then we have the indefinite pronouns. Now, indefinite pronouns, why we call them indefinite? Because they do not refer to any specific person, to any specific thing or amount, like somebody, someone, anyone, something. Now, what is this something? We don't know. Now, this something could be anything, like somebody. Now, that somebody could be XYZ, it could be anyone. So, we don't know. It is indefinite, alright? Because these pronouns, they do not refer to any specific thing or any specific person or any specific amount. That is why they are called as indefinite, because it is not specific. That is why indefinite. Like, see the examples here. Everybody enjoyed the puppet show. So everybody, we do not know who all were there, who enjoyed. Okay, but who all means we do not know the specific names of the people that enjoyed the puppet show. Then second example, there was no one in the building when the fire broke out. So there was no one, means so many people were living in the building, but no one was there. We don't know the names. Now that could be anyone. Now the next we have is relative pronouns. Relative pronouns in the interrogative form. Now relative pronouns, they are used to introduce a relative clause. I will tell you what it is. Now basically, relative clause, why they are introduced? First, these relative pronouns, they are used to introduce a relative clause. Now, why this relative clause is used? Because it gives certain information about the noun they qualify. So, means whatever noun they are talking about, so it will tell some information about that person. So that is why this relative clause is used. And how are relative clauses introduced? They are introduced with the help of a relative pronoun. And see, relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, that, and which. 5 relative pronouns are there. Okay, who, whose, whom, that, and which. These are the relative pronouns, and they introduce a relative clause. Now, before we move on to what uh, relative clauses, and relative clause are basically of 2 types: defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. So before that, now first we have to see that what is a clause. Yes, anyone here knows what is a clause? No? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Alright. Do you know what is a phrase?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what is a phrase?
Yes.
Come on, I'm waiting. What is a phrase?
मैम मुहावरा मुहावरा
You have not
मुहावरा
done. You have not done. What is a phrase? What is a sentence? First, tell me. Okay, tell me what is a sentence.
मैम a sentence is a group of words that make sense.
Okay, so
मैम a
words.
sentence
Okay, a group of words which makes a complete sense is called a sentence. What is a phrase? Now, phrase is a group of words.
मैम
Yes, yes, beta, come on.
मैम a group of words that express a concept is called a phrase.
Okay, so basically, in simple terms, what we can say is that what is a phrase? A group of words which makes some sense but not a complete sense. Because if they make a complete sense, then it will become a sentence. So, a group of words which make some sense but not a complete sense, that is called as a phrase. Like during the night in the class. Now, during the night, something happened. What happened, you do not know. So, it is not making complete sense, but it is making some sense. Means something happened in the night. Alright? In the class, something happened. What happened that you do not know. So, it is not making a complete sense, but still it is making some sense, and so it is called as a phrase. Now, like phrase, clause is also a part of a sentence. Okay? So, clause is also a part of a sentence. Then it has a subject and predicate of its own. So, though clause will be a part of a sentence, still it will have its own subject and predicate, and a clause also has a verb in it. Okay? Three things. Clause is a part of a sentence, it contains a subject and predicate of its own, and it also has a verb in it. Now, clauses can be of two types. Okay? The main clause or the principal clause, and the second is the subordinate or the dependent clause. Now, the main or the principal clause is that clause which can stand on its own as a complete sentence, and it does not require the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. Okay? So that is a principal or the main clause, and the dependent clause is that part of a sentence which requires the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete, and that is why it is called as the dependent or the subordinate clause. Okay.
Excuse
Yes,
ma'am.
beta.
Excuse ma'am, can you repeat? I was not able to hear.
Okay. Now listen. Principal clause or the main clause, it is also called as the independent clause. Now it can stand, though it is a part of a sentence, but it can stand on its own as a complete sentence, whereas the subordinate or the dependent clause, as the name suggests, it requires the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. Now, like for example, this sentence, I like ghazals which are sung by Jagjit Singh. Okay, so this sentence has two parts. I like ghazals, and the second part is which are sung by Jagjit Singh. Okay, now look at both the parts. I like ghazals. Okay, it has a subject. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Predicate
Yes,
also.
ma'am.
Predicate also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Verb also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes, ma'am.
look at the first part. I like ghazals. Can it stand on its own as a complete sentence?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, obviously. I like ghazals. It is making complete sense. So this part will be called as the principal or the main clause or the independent clause, because it does not require the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. Whereas the other part of the sentence, which are sung by Jagjit Singh. Now, is this part making a complete sense?
No, ma'am.
Can it stand
No,
No,
on
ma'am.
its own
No, ma'am.
No,
as a
ma'am. No,
proper
ma'am.
sentence? No. Which are sung by
No, ma'am.
Jagjit Singh? What sung by Jagjit Singh? So we don't know. It is making some sense but not complete sense, and it requires the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. So this is the subordinate or the dependent clause. Okay. So now that was clause. Now let's come back to relative pronouns. So what are relative pronouns? Relative pronouns are used to introduce a relative clause. Now what will be a relative clause? Relative clause will give certain information about the nouns for which they are used, or the nouns which they qualify. Now there are two kinds of relative clauses: defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. Now a defining, just as the name suggests, so a defining relative clause, now it will add a very specific information about a noun. So defining relative clause, what it will do, it will add details. Means what detail it will tell, it will be very much required. All right. And whereas the non-defining clauses, they add more. All right, they tell us something more about someone or something, but this information, what the non-defining clauses tell, now this information, it does not help to define the person or the thing we are talking about. Whereas the defining relative clause, now what it will do, it will help us to define what or whom are we talking about. Now see, for example, the boys who were tired slept. Okay, so now who were tired is the clause here. Now if we say the boys slept, now what will that mean? That all the boys slept. But when we add the boys who were tired, only they slept. So what this clause is doing, this relative clause who were tired, now it is telling something which is very much needed for us to know. Means they are helping to define what or whom are we talking about. So what are they telling? That only the boys who were tired, they slept. So here, who were tired, in this sentence, it would be a defining relative clause. Otherwise, if this is not used, so we will not know which boy slept. But here they are specifically telling that which boys slept, the ones who were tired. Okay, and there were other boys also, but maybe they were not so tired, so only those slept who were tired. Now non-defining, now they will also tell us something, but that information will not help us to define what or whom are we talking about. Like, see, my sister who stays in London has just written a best-selling novel. So here, what we want to tell? Do we want to tell that my friend stays in London, or do I want to tell that she has written a best-selling novel? Yes, class. What do you think? This sentence is talking
Ma'am,
about.
ma'am, she has written a best-selling novel.
All right.
Ma'am, this is important.
So now
Yes,
the
ma'am.
main thing that we want to tell is that she has written a best-selling novel. So that could be a defining clause. But who stays in London? This is just an added information about my sister. So here, who stays in London would be a Asham, close your mic. Yes. So here, who stays in London would be a non-defining clause. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So we'll get to know more of it because we have an exercise relating to that. So let's try to do the exercises now. Let's see how much we have really understood. First one, fill in the blanks with self pronouns. Self pronouns means with personal pronouns. have to tell that whether they are reflexive pronouns or emphatic pronouns. Again, reflexive or emphatic. When the words myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. Now, when they are used as objects of a verb, all right, and the subject and the object both would be the same person, then it would be a reflexive pronoun. Whereas when myself, yourself, ourselves, himself, herself, itself, when they are used to simply put emphasis, stress, then they are called as emphasizing pronouns. Let's try to do the exercise. First one. She will come to you dash.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
she will come to you herself.
Okay, now herself is correct. Now tell me which type of pronoun, which type
Ma'am,
of pronoun
emphatic.
is this?
Ma'am, reflexive.
Emphatic.
Ma'am, reflexive.
Ma'am, emphatic.
Ma'am,
Beta,
Ma'am,
see,
reflexive.
first this word herself need to be the object. Is herself here the object? What is the verb here?
Ma'am, come.
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 Come to?
You.
So what will be the object?
Come to you. Ma'am, herself.
What is the sentence?
Ma'am, herself.
Herself is the object.
Ma'am,
She will come where? She will come to you. Now, even if we say she will come to you, is it making sense? Yes or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are using herself here only for emphasis. How will she come? She will come herself. It is not the object of the verb come. It is here only used for emphasis. So it is emphatic pronoun. Okay. Then see. Second one. I dash heard the cry.
Myself.
Ma'am, myself. Ma'am, myself.
Okay. Which type of pronoun?
Ma'am, emphatic.
Yes, emphatic.
Ma'am, emphatic.
Yes, correct.
I'm reflexive.
No, not why reflexive? Is it the object? The cry is the object here. It is stressing I. Who heard the cry? I myself heard the cry. So I am simply stressing that I only and no one else heard the cry. I myself heard the cry. Third one, let's enjoy. What word? Let us.
Ma'am, ourselves. Ma'am, reflexive.
Okay, yes.
Ma'am,
Let's
reflexive.
enjoy.
Ma'am, reflexive.
Ma'am, reflexive.
Reflexive, correct. Why? Because enjoy is the verb. Enjoy what? Ourselves. Ourselves is the object here.
Object.
And the object and the subject. Let us. Let's is let us. So us and ourselves the same person. So it will be reflexive.
Yes.
Okay, number 4. Don't give dash any trouble.
Ma'am, yourself. Ma'am, yourself. Ma'am, yourself.
Yes,
Ma'am, yourself.
yourself, correct. Don't give.
Ma'am, reflexive. Ma'am, reflexive. Ma'am, reflexive. Ma'am, reflexive.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Okay,
reflexive.
who is saying emphatic?
Ma'am, Karthik.
Yes, beta. Why do you think it is emphatic? Which noun or pronoun is it emphasizing? Is it emphasizing any noun or pronoun here?
No, ma'am.
Give here is give is the object and yourself here is the give here is the verb, whereas yourself is the object here. So it is reflexive. Number 5th, he is sitting all by dash.
Himself.
Ma'am,
Himself.
himself. Ma'am, himself.
Yes.
Emphatic. Ma'am, emphatic.
Yes.
Ma'am, emphatic.
Correct.
Ma'am, emphatic. Ma'am, emphatic.
Yes.
Emphatic.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Emphatic.
emphatic.
Number 6th, you never think of dash.
I'm
Ma'am,
yourself.
yourself. Ma'am, yourself. Ma'am, yourself.
Okay.
Ma'am, reflective. Ma'am, reflective.
Okay. All right. So now you understood?
Yes.
Has it become
Yes,
a
ma'am.
little clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Number
Excuse me,
7,
ma'am.
they are spoiling.
Themselves.
Ma'am, themselves. Reflective. Ma'am, reflective.
Right.
Reflective.
Okay. What is the verb here?
Ma'am, spoiling.
They are
Spoiling.
spoiling whom? Themselves. It is the object. And themselves and they, same person. So it is reflexive. Correct.
Reflexive.
Yes, correct, beta. I love dash more than anyone else.
Myself.
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 What type
Ma'am,
of, what type
Ma'am,
of
reflected.
pronoun?
Ma'am, reflected.
Ma'am, reflective.
Reflexive. No, not emphatic. Reflexive. I love whom?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love
Ma'am,
myself.
reflexive.
Myself.
Ma'am,
reflective.
It is reflexive because love is the verb here, myself is the object, and myself and the subject I both are in the same person. Number 9. Sheila can't express dash clearly.
Myself. Reflective.
Reflexive. Correct.
Reflective.
Yes, reflexive. And the last one. He
Ma'am,
can
reflexive.
do everything
Himself.
himself.
Ma'am, himself.
Ma'am, emphatic. Ma'am, emphatic.
Ma'am, emphatic.
Ma'am, emphatic.
Yes,
Ma'am,
emphatic.
emphatic.
He can do everything. Everything is the
Ma'am,
object.
emphatic.
Or himself is not the object. It is simply used for stressing. He can do everything. How can he do everything? Himself means he is good enough. He can do this work himself. So himself here is used for emphasis. So it is emphatic or emphasizing pronoun.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, what will be the first one? Ma'am, because of network issue, I cannot
Okay.
hear the first one.
You tell me. She will come to you. What will be in the gap? She will come to you herself. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, herself. Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Then what type of pronoun it will become? She will come to you herself. Emphatic or reflexive? What is the verb here? What is the verb here?
Ma'am, come.
Come. Come to whom?
Ma'am, you.
So you is the object here. If
Okay, ma'am.
herself, yourself and all these words are not in the object's place, that means they are not reflexive. And so what will it be? It will be emphatic. Why? Because it is stressing. She will come to you. How will she come? She will come herself. So it is only used for emphasis. So it is emphatic. Okay. Let's move on to exercise B. Now read the following sentences and tell whether the relative clauses used here is a defining relative clause or a non-defining relative clause. So you simply have to tell which are defining and which are non-defining. And you know, there is also one thing which is very specific and with which you can easily pick up a defining or a non-defining clause. Now if you look at the two sentences, example of the two sentences given on page 10, see the defining clause, read that sentence and then read the example of non-defining clause and then tell me what is the difference in the way the sentence is written. Yes.
Ma'am, there is a comma.
Right. Very smart. So there is
Ma'am, there is a comma.
And it's basically it is used to add some extra information. After the comma, you will have some extra added information. So very easily you can judge. Okay? But also through the sentence, try to understand and then see. First one. The story which I heard from her was published in all the dailies.
Non-defining.
Non-defining.
Because you
Non-defining.
you need to tell which story. So the story which I heard from her, that same story, it was published, so it is defining. Correct. My television, which was in the far corner of the room, toppled
Ma'am,
over.
non-defining.
Ma'am, non-defining.
Non-defining.
Now
Ma'am, non-defining.
in this sentence, what we want to tell? That my TV toppled, or I want to tell that it was in the far corner. What do I want to convey?
Ma'am, my TV. Ma'am, I toppled. Ma'am,
I
toppled over.
want to tell that it toppled over. It fell. So that is the main thing. But I am providing some extra added information about it, that it was in the far corner. Okay? So it is non-defining. Next, all the boys who...
Ma'am, non-defining.
Ma'am, non-defining.
I'm non-defining. Non-defining.
Alright, next. The attacker who threatened me with...
Ma'am, non-defining.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, non-defining. Ma'am, non-defining.
Non-defining.
Ma'am, non-defining.
Okay. The ball which I threw...
Ma'am, non-defining.
Ma'am,
non-defining. Ma'am, non-defining.
Let me read the sentence. Number 6. The children who could read the story and write their name were admitted to the school.
Ma'am, defining.
Ma'am, defining.
I'm defining.
Okay. So, which children were admitted to the school? Only those who could read the story and write their names. Next. The car which rammed into the truck last night was completely smashed.
Ma'am, non-defining. Ma'am,
Why? Because we basically want to tell that the car was smashed. That is what we want to tell, that it was completely smashed. But we are adding added information to it, that it rammed into a truck last night. So that is just an added information, non-defining information. It is not defining the noun car. What we want to say, that it is completely smashed. The keys which are hanging on a string are yours.
Ma'am, defining.
Alright. Number 9. The buyers who were offered a cash rebate bought everything in... Alright. Basically, we want to tell that the buyers, they bought everything very quick and fast. Next, and the last one, it was your brother that met my son. Okay, fine. Defining. Alright, so that is all the time we have. And so for today, I will stop here.